Hey, what's going on, guys? So Samson just got its first major update, and this one is all about smoothing out the rough edges, cleaning up stability issues, and fixing a bunch of mission and gameplay problems that players could run into right out of the gate. According to the patch notes, the biggest focus here is performance, especially the kind of shader and pipeline issues that can cause annoying hitching and stuttering. So the game should feel a lot smoother after this update lands. And honestly, that is the part a lot of people are going to care about first, because this patch goes after several different sources of performance trouble at once. The team fixed some misses with Slate, addressed landscape ray tracing dynamic geometry misses, corrected a couple of settings tied to landscape PSO precache dispatch, and also dealt with nanite lumen card and nanite shading misses. On top of that, they fixed a PSO issue connected to how materials were being pulled from LRD levels, which is especially important for nanite-enabled meshes that are meant to render with LRD 0 materials. In plain English, this is the kind of backend work that should reduce those weird micro-freezes and make traversal feel less hitchy overall. The stability side of the patch is just as important. The devs fixed a crash involving use destruction help on vehicles, another crash that could happen when a failed dispatch was being updated during warp governance issues, and several audio-related crashes, including one that could happen when closing the game. They also cleaned up race conditions around ray tracing cache data, which is the kind of issue that can cause hard-to-track instability if left alone. So even though some of these fixes sound technical, the end result is simple. Fewer random crashes and a better chance of getting through a full play session without the game throwing a fit. There is also a physics fix that matters more than it might sound at first. Physics destructibles were behaving like solid objects and not breaking properly at higher frame rates, and that has now been fixed. That means the game should react more consistently when you are smashing through objects or interacting with destructible parts of the world at faster performance settings. Now, the mission fixes are where things get really interesting, because there are quite a few of them. Icefish no longer spawns beatdown NPCs that are stuck at level 1, Thrill of the Fight and Running on Fumes now work properly after save and continue. And Susie Red no longer gets duplicated during Stitches for Snitches mission completion. Hit 16, also known as No Return Fare, now has the passenger entering the cab at the actual pickup location, which is exactly the kind of thing that keeps a mission from feeling broken in the moment. Dave Schultz's tailing job also got adjusted so Dave spawns closer to the player and does not cause an almost instant failure just because the game placed him too far away. The story chapter mission. No Whisper Dealers no longer triggers beatdowns when you eliminate enemies. Hot Iron got a fix for a reach dealer objective radius that was way too small. And Day 3, Una Welcome Home now triggers its call after blood on tap instead of dirty scripts. They even fixed Hot Iron so it can be replayed properly after a fail and retry the next day. On the general gameplay side, the patch adds NPC fall damage as a backup rule for dropped NPCs, raises the interact range for Day 3 pickups so items are easier to grab when they end up under a body, and lets outsiders check whether a driver can be pulled out of a vehicle. Enemy behavior got attention too, with fixes for enemies not pushing forward in group encounters and AI running into roads to inspect dead bodies.